Hello there everyone, Oversoul here. It's been a while since I've done a vlog, yes, and here I sit on my balcony on a rainy Sunday with video game music playing in the background to come to you and speak to you about things and stuff. Yes, there will be plenty of that. Plenty of both. Anyways, just wanted to give you guys a little update on what's going on in life, a little bit of a catch-up, if you will. You know, I turned 31 earlier this month. Woohoo! You know, that's a thing that happened. Nothing feels different. Feels like 30 with an extra number. That's all I can say. But, you know, there's more to that. There's more to life going on than, you know, having just turned 31. Another aspect of my life right now is I'm still becoming a manager at work. Now, I know some of you, like, I know I've been saying this for a while now, right? It seems like it's been going on damn near a year now that I said that they've been considering me for a manager. And, you know, I hadn't even been there a full year yet at first when the idea was being tossed around and considered. You see what I'm saying? So it's not like it was a sure thing that was going to happen right then and there, but it was definitely, like, on the radar. Well, now, right now, it is definitely 100% a for sure thing. The only way it could not happen is if I, myself, somehow screwed it up. And that's not going to happen. So for sure I am still becoming a manager, but here's where the caveat lies. You know, some of you might be thinking to yourselves, you know, it's been a minute. You quit doing the Let's Plays a few months ago in preparation for this, and you're not a manager yet. Are you telling me that we had to give up the Let's Plays for no reason? And the answer is no. Because it's still happening. And there's more to it, and I'm going to get into that in a minute. You know, part of the, when I decided that the Let's Plays were going to end a few months back, there was a little more to it, you know? A little more to it. I honestly think, yeah, we'll get into that in a minute. But back to the work thing. For sure, I am becoming a manager at work, but our current general assistant manager is leaving and going to work at a restaurant in a different store. And the one guy there who is one of the managers that I'm also friends with, him and I have become good friends since we started there, he is going to take her place as general assistant manager. He's moving up to basically second in command at that restaurant. You know, so there'll be the head manager, and then it'll be him as the next step down. And I will be taking his spot as a shift lead manager. There's like 3 tiers of manager: shift lead, general assistant manager, and then like the head manager, the head of the restaurant. And all of them are managers. All of them can do manager things, like they get keys to the building, they can get into the safe, you know, stuff like that. Write people up if they're being naughty. So, you know, I'm going to be taking his place as a Tier 1 manager, I guess you could call it. We'll call it Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3 manager. Of course, there can only be one Tier 3 manager. Just like there can only be one Highlander. There can only be one main boss. Of course, that manager has their own bosses as well, and they have their bosses, and everyone, you know, it goes up the ladder, all the way to corporate. Anyways, I digress. The point I'm trying to make is that I'll be taking his spot, and that's coming soon, you know, because the current GAM, the current GAM, is leaving at the end of October, which means that he should be moving up by that point, and he's currently taking classes. Yes, there's classes we have to do, you know, come into a restaurant at 11 in the goddamn morning, sit down with the head manager, and learn some things. So, once he's done with his classes and moves up, I'll be starting my classes. So that should be coming very, very soon. And that's, yeah. So anyways, That's part of it. That's part of the thing. And before I become a manager, though, there is some good news to this. And I was a little skeptical of this myself at first, because it almost, like, you know, I have trust issues because of my past. So I didn't, you know, and my self-esteem issues and self-doubt have made me consider whether or not I'm actually worthy of being a manager before. So when I heard this at first, it kind of took me off guard. Because I thought maybe I wasn't being considered anymore or something. But it turns out that's not the case at all. I am definitely 100% still being considered. But I'm actually going to get 2 promotions. Unlike some of the other managers there, I'm going to skip the whole... wow. I said that backwards. Unlike some of the other managers there who they skipped the whole step in between regular crew member and manager, there is an in-between spot. It's called team trainer. And you're not a manager at that point, but you are like on a little higher tier than a regular crew member. And it basically makes you responsible for training people and doing some manager-ish things, and, you know, having like a, you know, you're in the manager circle, but not a manager, so to speak, which has been the case for me since I started working there, basically. But anyways, so now it's just going to be official. So I either am or will be here within the next week or 2, I'm assuming, a team trainer. And with that promotion comes a raise. And then when I get promoted into manager later down the line, that promotion should also come with a raise. Which means this way I'll be getting 2 raises instead of just 1. And I might be able to negotiate an ultimately higher pay that way than I was before, because I had an idea of how much I wanted my raise to be going straight from crew member to manager. But this way I think I might be able to actually get more total than I was hoping for in the long run, because it's easier to negotiate 2 small raises than it is 1 big one, you see what I'm saying? So, yeah. So if everything goes according to plan, I should be alright here soon. I should be doing okay. And I am looking forward to that. I am both looking forward to it and not, because I know it's going to be stressful, I know it's going to be a huge pain in the ass and all that, but I'm getting pretty good at handling these things. I don't know what it is. Yeah, you know, I don't want people to get the wrong idea. I bitch and moan and complain about certain aspects of my job all the time. And yes, a lot of the customers do suck ass. They are extremely rude and entitled, and they sit there and take like 3.5 minutes of our 4-minute drive-through timer just to decide what they want and shit like that, and it's annoying. It's extremely annoying. There's not a single person who works in the building. I know some people, you know, I know some of you might look at it from a consumer perspective because you don't work there, you know, and you might be like, well, you know, what's wrong with doing 2 separate orders, you know? Isn't that something that I, as a customer, should be entitled to? And in a way, you're kind of right, yes, but at the same time, I don't think a lot of people understand. If you haven't worked behind the walls, you just don't get it. But, you know, when the higher-ups, and this goes for all fast food places, not just the one I work at, but when the higher-ups are constantly on your ass about speeds and times and speeds and times, and when you're working in the drive-thru, there's a timer, there's an actual timer sitting there staring you in the face, intimidatingly threatening you. You know, once it reaches 3-some minutes, it turns yellow, and when it hits 4 minutes, that bitch turns red to let you know you failed. But it's not always your fault, because if customers do things like separate orders or take forever to decide what they want and they're just overall complicated and shit, then that screws up the timer, you know? And I know it's not technically their problem or responsibility to care about, but like, all I'm saying is drive-through etiquette should be a thing, you know? Drive-through etiquette should definitely be a thing. Like, if you're going to pull up to a drive-through, have some goddamn drive-through etiquette. You know, have some sympathy for the poor, overworked, and underpaid fast food workers, especially during a global pandemic. For fuck's sake. Like, come on. Just use your brain, you know? Figure out what you want before you get there. And, yeah, and stuff like that. You know? And only do separate orders if you absolutely have to. You know, if there's no other possible way, if your friend can't send you the money over Cash App or something like that. Only if it's a last resort should you do that, because you're really, really, really screwing over those employees' night by doing that. And I'm not trying to be mean, but it's just the reality of the fact. Like, there's likely only 2, maybe 3 people in that building if you come through after midnight or so, depending on what restaurant you go to and what town it's in. But I guarantee you right now, a lot of places are understaffed because of the pandemic. So you're definitely making their lives harder when you do that. That being the case, though, I'm not saying, you know, not every customer is an asshole, and you're not automatically an asshole if you do separate orders. There are other things that make customers assholes. That alone doesn't make you an asshole. It's just a huge, huge, huge inconvenience to us. Like, it definitely will piss us off. But the customers who are assholes are the ones who want to argue over the prices about things like we somehow control that. Or, you know, why can't I this, that, and the other thing, and blah, blah, blah. You know, pull up extremely intoxicated and are impossible to understand. Yeah, can I get this box of Flanders box number 5 and the Pepsi? Like, I'm sorry, what? Man, you fucking heard me. No, I didn't. I wouldn't have asked otherwise. You know how many people we've had to refuse service to because they're just so obstinate and belligerent, because they're so drunk they can't even tell their ass from their mouth? Yeah. Anyways, where was I going with this? Oh yeah, work is stressful and all that, but yeah, I'm looking forward to moving. Like, oh yeah. So anyways, I just wanted to point out that as much as I bitch and moan about this, that, and the other thing, and as much as I complain about how, you know, because I've talked to some of you privately, how corporate makes stupid decisions that directly contradict the rules that they set and other such things, and they have unrealistic expectations, yada yada. I don't hate my job. Okay? Now, I'm entitled to my grievances. I kind of feel like suffering is not a competition, you see. Like, everyone should be being paid hazard pay right now, you know? And I think it's ridiculous that people aren't if they have to work, and anything like that. But I don't think it's a competition of who did and didn't ever get hazard pay or anything like that, or like, or, you know, like who got the more hazard pay, and, you know, all yada yada. Like, right now, everyone, in my opinion, every job should pay a living wage minimum, and right now every job should pay hazard pay. That's just, I'm unmovable on that stance. That's how I feel, that's how it should be, that's just it, you know. That's the long and short of it. To me, suffering is not a competition. Just because someone else has had it worse doesn't mean you're not entitled to your grievances. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I do think it is kind of asinine when people who are extremely privileged bitch about things that are mostly nitpicky, nonsensical stuff. Like, yeah, there are first world problems, you know. But if you're someone who has a bunch of mental disabilities and has a hard time dealing with the public and gets easily stressed out, and it's just, and you have low self-esteem and all that, you know, I think at that point you're entitled to your bitching and moaning about how customers are fucking piece of shit assholes sometimes, you know. Like, I think you're entitled to that. If you work in fast food or retail, you're entitled to bitch. You just are. Because you have to put up, if you work in one of those two jobs, you put up with the worst of the worst in terms of society. You just do. You have to deal with, on a daily basis, the worst Karens and Chads imaginable. You know, you just do. That's just part of it. But anyways. So, what I wanted to make clear was, though, like, because I'm sure some people are like, man, you bitch about your job a lot. Why are you even, you know, trying to be a manager? Or, you know, why don't you quit? Obviously, it's doing damage to your mental health and stuff. And you're right, but I've found ways to cope with it. And I don't know. To me, it was a sign. I was out of work for 10 years, and I had, like, no credentials, no reason for them to hire me, but they took a gamble on me, and I'm one of their favorites. To me, that's a sign. And I'm just going to take it that way. And I'm going to, you know, keep trudging forward and putting my best foot forward in the process, because as much as I bitch and moan about the customers, it's just therapeutic for me, you know. And most of the people I vent to about it are not necessarily ones that can sympathize, but people who are progressive enough that I think they feel the pain of the retail and fast food worker right now. You know what I'm saying? usually it is more progressive people who sympathize with people in those positions, and usually the older folk tend to think that it's a easy entry-level job, you know, and that we don't deserve to be paid a living wage and stuff like that. And those people are just factually wrong. That's not an opinion, it's just ignorance. They're wrong. That's all there is to it. Now, anyways. So yeah, that was just me clearing the air about my job in that particular aspect. Like, you know, I don't hate my job. I just hate the customers. Not all of them. Most of them. But anywho. And, you know, some of the employees are kind of too, but we're going through a cleansing right now. I think we're going to be getting rid of a lot of the undesirables, and our work environment will be filled with mostly good workers and positive people. So, yep, some big changes coming to my job, and I'm glad for them. But I wanted to talk about something else, too. Oh, before I get to this, actually, I want to give you guys a couple updates. Things to look forward to on the horizon. I still plan on doing a best of Funky Hurdles and a best of Inky Lumberjack compilation videos. You know, Inky Lumberjack, formerly known as Night of Severity, formerly known as OCD Wolfman. Right. So, much like I did before for Decon and Rayquaza back when he was still known as Ryan Bodash. I did compilations for them, and I still plan on doing compilations for Funky Hurdles and Inky Lumberjack as well. Some of their best and funniest moments from different videos that we've done together and whatnot. Reactions and Highlights 20 is still being worked on. And like I said before, when I do put that out, it is going to be a Tuesday night live stream. Because on YouTube, if you have over a certain amount of subscribers, you can do premieres. You upload a video, you set it as a premiere, and viewers will get a notification about the premiere and like a set the date reminder or something. Like they can pull up the video page and it'll be like, this video is set to premiere on such and such date at such and such time. And you can set a reminder. And then if you set the reminder, you'll get the reminder on your phone or whatever about 10-15 minutes before the video actually goes live, giving you a chance to come in there and sit in the live chat lobby. Like the live chat lobby opens up before the video actually starts playing, so you can get in there and get ready. And then the video will start playing, and it'll be, you know, Reactions and Highlights, episode 20, the Best of Reactions and Highlights Grand Finale Special. Very much looking forward to that, to doing that. That's going to be fun. And I'm looking forward to watching that with you guys live when it comes out. So it is going to be an edited video that I upload and set as a premiere, and then we will watch the premiere together as a Tuesday night live stream, and I will chat with you guys in the comments and stuff as we watch it. So please make sure that you're there for that, like live when it happens, because sure, you can watch it as an archive, but what's the fun in that? You know, I want to be able to watch it with you guys, you know, so I'll let you know for sure, like at least a week in advance when that's coming, so you can set your calendars, because you'll want to be there for that when it happens, so that we can discuss these things, you know, all the nostalgia clips, new clips, old clips. There will also be some clips from recent live streams thrown in there, so it won't just all be highlight footage. Some of it will be new, too. So, there'll be that as well. So yeah, new clips, old clips. It'll be an hour-long highlight reel special, the best of Reactions and Highlights, episode 20, series finale. So I'm working on those things. Not sure what this coming Tuesday's live stream is going to be yet. Kinda finagling around a few ideas with that, but I will, for sure you'll know no later than Tuesday morning. Or Tuesday afternoon. You know, whenever I wake up that day. Perhaps even sometime tomorrow, actually, once I figure it out. Okay, so those are the things that I know for sure are coming up. Now to get to some nitty-gritty and more serious stuff, excuse me. So, looking back on when I kind of made the final decision to end the Let's Plays, you know, the idea, remember I did the video where I said I might have to stop, and then I took a break for a while because work was just really screwing with me, and then I did the video where I actually stopped. Where I actually was like, okay, Let's Plays are done now. As soon as Moons of Madness and Dead Space 3 end, we're done. You guys may remember. Those vlogs, by the way, are actually set to private now, in case you were wondering why you couldn't go back and find them. For personal reasons, you know, the message was already put out there. You guys already saw it. But for personal reasons, I wanted to kind of take those out of the loop of videos, because there's no reason, if you already saw it, to go back and watch it anyways. Everyone already knows how the channel transition has gone. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't miss doing the pre-recorded Let's Plays, you know? There's definitely a part of me that still wants to do them, at least, you know, a little bit. And looking back on some of those months, I think, in hindsight, a lot of my stress was due to the fact that this past April would have been exactly a year since the you know, the big breakup situation. And as much as I fronted on here how okay I was with everything that happened, the reality of it is that situation was actually a lot more dark and drama-filled than I led people to believe. And for the sake of, you know, people's privacy and stuff like that, I didn't want to get into the nitty-gritty details of the whole thing, and I still don't want to on here anyway. But needless to say, there's a lot of specifics that I left out of that situation. A lot of wrong was definitely done to me and in my direction, and it took me probably a full year and a half to fully, completely process that. I don't think it was until maybe a couple days ago or so that I honestly, truly feel like I'm over it. I'm over it completely now. And I was just telling myself back then that I was, because it made me feel better. But like, I get so much positive reinforcement at work now, at least from, you know, the good people at work, the ones whose opinions actually matter, that, and I feel so important there, you know, in a way that I never have anywhere else in life. Even on YouTube, you know, like, there are some of you that are dedicated, loyal fans that have watched pretty much everything I uploaded and loved it, but even with that, I still felt like this never reached the potential that it really deserved. And I'm not trying to be arrogant or anything. I think I actually do some decent work on here. I did some decent work. My Let's Plays aren't bad, they're well edited, my commentary is entertaining, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything. I'm not saying like, yo, I'm so cool, I deserve to have all the subscribers. It's not like that, it's not arrogance, but I do think that my channel is underrated, if I'm being honest. I gotta be honest, I do think that I do better work than I gave myself credit for, and perhaps it was my lack of confidence and self-esteem and not wanting to, you know, market myself because it felt like I was being annoying or pushy that kind of, you know, pushed me back. And also, I'd be lying if I said I didn't take it personally that a lot of people just didn't seem to care or didn't want to watch. Like, people I considered close friends, I'm the kind of person who wears my heart on my sleeve, so yeah, I kind of took it personal when people weren't watching things. And I get it, you know, there are games I played that people didn't want spoilers for and stuff like that, but, you know, sometimes it seems like it was a struggle, like an absolute difficult struggle to get some people to even watch just a 5-minute music video, you know, or one of the reactions and highlights or something, you know. And the worst of it came when it came from people who seemed to actually support my channel, like, hey, you know, you should check out my buddy Justin's stuff, he's got great stuff, but never actually seemed interested in watching any of it themselves. You know, it hurt. I'm not gonna lie, it hurt. You know, it made me sad and it put me in a big depression, and it was part of the reason I quit doing Let's Plays in the long run. It was just too detrimental to my mental health and self-esteem to keep putting in all that work and all that effort and bust my ass. And, you know, and just to feel like no one appreciated it, you know, except for maybe 2 or 3 people. And I love you guys for doing that, but I just... You know, and I got people who would start, you know, I had a few people who started watching Moons of Madness and stuff like that, and they're like, hey, this is cool, I'm into this, you know, and they would start watching it, and then never finish. And they would do that with so many Let's Plays. They would watch like 2 or 3 episodes, say they were into it, and then never ever get back to it. And, you know, it was extremely disheartening, like, extremely disheartening. How can you not take that personally when it's people that you care about doing that to you, you know? At least this, you know, that was, you know, now I don't so much, but like, because I didn't want people to feel bad. I didn't want to guilt people into watching things either, so that's not the kind of stuff that I would normally come out and say, you know? And I didn't want to be that asshole that's like, oh, well, you're not a real friend if you don't watch my videos. It wasn't that. It was just more like, it felt like a lot of people were faking their support to make me happy, but never actually took the time to truly appreciate the work I put into this. And that hurt me really, really bad, so it was definitely part of the reason I decided to stop, you know. But like I said, I am kind of missing the Let's Plays. But when you can, you know, mix that and mix with like everything I was going through the past year, like I haven't been doing well mentally over the past year. Between the work, the stress from work, and dealing with the aftermath of the breakup, and you know, trying to overwork myself to still do YouTube videos in the midst of all this, I didn't give myself enough time to fully heal. I didn't give myself enough time to step away from everything and just, you know, live life. And because of that, I think I did a lot of damage to my mental health, and it didn't help, you know. And I ended up, as much as I love recording and editing the Let's Plays and stuff, I ended up resenting it after a while. Like, I ended up dreading looking forward to it like it was another job. Like, I would get up and I'd be like, ugh, I have to record today. You know, I wasn't looking forward to it anymore. It was becoming a chore. And I think a lot of that had to do with my mental state at the time, you know, just dealing with a lot of things. I think I was going through a depression at some point here more recently. I think I legitimately just got over a 1.5 year long depression. You know, it took until maybe a couple days to go for me to fully come to terms with and realize that, but I swear to God, I did. I went through a 1.5 year long depression. I just did. You know, I don't know how I made it out on the other side the way that I have, but goddamn. And you know, you guys can't lie and say that you didn't see it in some of the later videos. Like, okay, sure, I have my, you know, sure, I still had my, you know, like, look back at my Moons of Madness playthrough, for example. Obviously, I was still being me, but it was a different kind of me, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure you noticed. Like, if you really go back and look and pay attention to that, compared to a Let's Play that I had done maybe 2 years prior, for example. Yeah, like, go back and look at a Let's Play from earlier this year compared to one that I did in, like, 2018, for example, and you'll notice a difference in my overall mood, you know, for sure. Yeah, I'm still doing the goofy, happy thing, but it's not, like, it's not the way you want it, you know? It wasn't the Oversoul you were used to. I noticed it. I don't know if you guys did, but I'm thinking you might have. You know what I'm saying? I get the feeling some of you noticed that there was definitely a change in the attitude. And I think I might have actually made my depression worse when I played The Last of Us Part 2 earlier this year. Now, don't get me wrong, that is a phenomenal game. I love it. Love, 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 love it. And it still has a strong possibility of being my game of the year this year. And I know that's a controversial choice because, you know, of all the things that happen in the game and how it doesn't follow the usual cliches of revenge narratives and kind of turns the whole thing on its head. And, you know, people aren't comfortable with that. I don't think the year 2020, when everything that can and possibly could go wrong did go wrong, was the right year to put out a depressing game like that with a more realistic narrative about human darkness. But I am still glad I played it. That is a once-in-a-lifetime experience that you can't, like, recapture. That kind of, you know, you can't... There are certain games I wish I could go back and re-experience for the first time again, like Soma and Hellblade. The Last of Us Part 2 is one of them. You know, there's just something about that magic. You can't recapture it on a second playthrough. But I think it actually did more damage to my mental health after I played it. You know, like, Soma gave me an existential crisis after I played it. You know, and maybe it's just because I'm one of those people that gets, like, super immersed in my games. I'm very analytical about the way that I play, you know, the way I consume my entertainment. You know, I'm like a Terminator, kind of like scanning the environment, like, target acquired. You know, I'm like that when I watch movies and TV shows and play games and stuff, you know. I'm already writing a review in my head from the moment I launch it up. It's just kind of how I am. It's just how my brain works. You know, it's how I enjoy things. It makes things more enjoyable for me. That's why I like watching things like CinemaSins and stuff, whereas some people, stuff like that takes all the fun out of it and makes them mad because people are saying bad things about the stuff they like or whatever. For me, it actually makes the stuff more fun because it opens my mind to a deeper intellect in the viewing of these things. You know, it's almost philosophical in a way. Being able to be aware of all these things, you know, knowing all these tropes and the names of them and what they mean, and it's cool for me. It's fun. It's almost like a little game, you know. So that's why a lot of people, you know, when I am like nitpicking or saying negatives about the things I'm playing in Let's Plays and stuff, it doesn't mean I don't like it. It doesn't, you know. I'm just being observant because that's what I do. That's how I am, you know. But I think The Last of Us Part 2 affected me because it was such a huge emotional roller coaster. At one point, I actually screamed at, like, actually yelled at the game in frustration and anger because a choice a character made near the end was so immensely stupid. Not the choice they make at the end, by the way. I'm okay with that one if you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the choice they make before that leads them into that situation. Stupid, 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 stupid. Sometimes it's better just to let things go. And, yeah. That was, I remember getting pretty mad about that. But to me, that's what makes it even better, because, like, if you can invoke that kind of emotion out of me, I would rather play a game that makes me mad and sad and stuff like that, invokes that kind of emotion out of me, versus something that's going to just keep me stoic-faced the whole time, like, oh, yeah, this is cool, you know? But that game, I don't think that game did a lot to help when it came to me, not being in the best state of mind. You know, it actually, I think, made me more depressed and more all over the place with my emotions, whatever. But I'm doing okay now. You know, things are better, things are looking up, and I wanted to let you guys know that. With that in mind, however, I wanted to run an idea across you real quick before I let you guys go, because my phone is about to die. How would you guys feel if I was to actually continue doing Let's Plays, but not on a schedule? Now, my channel would continue to have content like the No Straight Roads and Iron Man VR videos that you've been seeing, but every once in a while, I think I could squeeze in, sprinkle in a Let's Play if what I would have to do is I would have to pre-record it all on my own time and get the entire game pre-recorded first. And then I would upload videos of it kind of on like a random schedule. It wouldn't be every, you know, Monday, Wednesday, Friday like it was before. Sometimes you might get an episode on a Monday, you might get an episode on a Thursday, you might get an episode on a Sunday, who fucking knows? You know, it would not be scheduled, it would be completely random, and there would be no guarantee of you getting more than one episode a week either. But So it would be uploaded in the same inconsistent, random fashion as the stuff I've been doing recently. You know, just kind of whenever I feel like it. Now, if you guys would be willing to meet me in the middle with that compromise, I might be able to swing still doing pre-recorded Let's Plays when my mental stability can handle it. It wouldn't be like a consistent thing on the channel like it was before, but it could be something I would be willing to do here and there if you guys are down for it. So, if you guys are down for or okay with it not being a scheduled thing, you know, not being a scheduled, consistent thing, if you guys are okay with it being randomly uploaded like all the other content, you know, let me know what you think, because if you're okay with that, if you're okay with a lack of a consistent upload schedule, you can still maybe get those pre-recorded Let's Plays, but you have to be okay with it being inconsistent. You have to, if you want it at all. It's either that or no Let's Plays at all. But let me know, because if that's something you guys are interested in or okay with, I would be willing to make that happen. You know, because like I said, sometimes I miss doing it, and there are moments where I get that creative bug, it bites me, and I'm like, ooh, I kind of want to edit something, you know? It's been a while since I've done a music video or anything creative like that, so that editing bug is biting me again, and it's kind of making me want to do some pre-recorded Let's Plays, but, you know, I have to know if you guys are okay with the inconsistency of a random upload schedule, you know, and I'm talking Let's Plays might even be like months apart. Not episodes would be months apart, but like you might get a Let's Play in like April, and you might not get another Let's Play after that until like September, you know, and in between that would be a bunch of other stuff. But I would still be doing the live streams every Tuesday too, so it's not like you're getting at least one commentary thing every week. But anyways, let me know if you guys are okay with that, and I just want to talk to you guys about how things are going. You know, I wasn't doing okay, but I am now, and things are looking good, things are looking up, you know? So anyways, yeah. So there's that, and that's all I had for you. I have been talking for a long time, but, you know, I think it was necessary. A lot of stuff I had to, you know, talk about, get off my chest, get out there. So anyways, thank you for listening to this little vlog. It'll be the only video uploaded today because it's so long, but look forward to more episodes of No Straight Roads and Iron Man VR over the next couple of days, another live stream on Tuesday, and, you know, all the fun stuff I mentioned coming soon. Reaction compilations and such. But until that time, catch you later. Goodbye.